Before I start this rant, to anyone who likes this education level, I respect your opinion. Anyways, enjoy. First, we are gonna talk about a summary, the final year, and inclusion. Junior high and middle school? Oh my gosh. This is the worst education level has known in existence. At the final week of 8th grade, I got my second crush. Also at that same time, my new friends became peer tutors. Then my crush hanged out with me to go get ice cream. On the last day of school, I started to become a popular student. We signed yearbooks, then my crush signed mine. I went home thinking I was going to miss them during the summer. During the summer, I texted my crush and I never got a response back. I was worried all summer. My friend had an idea, driving past her house. It is the worst idea you can think of. But eventually, she texted me back. So I invited her to my birthday party. She went to my party and we talked about what we did over the summer. Now we're gonna talk about the final year. On the first day of school, I talked to my new friends. In second class, my crush had me with earth science. I got distracted most of class. At lunch, I wanted to talk to her all lunch long, and she kept saying yes. It kind of distracted her. On the 29th of August, I talked to my crush in the morning. Then she told me she had a boyfriend. I became so angry, I was worrying about it in my head in every class. Then at lunch, I was arguing with her, and my new friends came to action. It blocked in the hallway and it was so bad that the vice principal took it under control. He pulled us off to not do it again, and on their 31st, a second one happens and it got worse. More of her friends joined the argument, then the boys came too. It got so loud and out of control that it felt like World War II was happening in the hallway. The vice principal pulled us out again. When the bell rang, my crush came to tell my homeroom teacher to let her know about the situation. When school was about to get out, the teacher told me that I caused the hallway chaos. I went home and I was so angry, it was distracting my mom's driving. Then I went to the park to learn my mistakes to regret not doing it again. After Labor Day weekend, I had a rule from my teacher that I only have to sit with her at lunch for 10 minutes. It went well and weird at the same time. On the 14th of September, I was having lunch with my crush and her friends until they tell me who should I choose to be my girlfriend. I chose a girl I talked to in 7th grade, then she became my first girlfriend. After class she told me that she was moving 20 minutes away from school. I was so confused. On October 2nd, I was texting her that she had a boyfriend. I was so angry, because she thought it was a joke at lunch, so I broke up. The next day, my mom went to South Korea without me. It was the toughest month during that time. Over the next 2 months I tended to get another girlfriend. They kept saying they were taken, until late November. It was on a Wednesday. I was bored with my crush and my friends. When I walked around the hallway when I saw a girl who was a grade lower that she told me she wanted to be friends and she told me she wanted to hang out with me during lunch. She also took me in the hallways to take me to my next class. We hang out at lunch to introduce to ourselves. Sometimes during lunch I bother her. During winter break 2 days after Christmas, my friends hanged out with me in their neighborhood to mess around. Then, they wanted to go to a girl's house who were friends. Then I wanted to go to Crush 5's house. They had an ATV, so we went over there. Then, she came from the basement and I gave her a hug. They thought it was funny, so I went home that night. When 2024 started, I went back to school, and I would talk to her on the mornings. And guess what happened next? I got the incorrect lunch schedule. I went on a trip. They had some time to change it but it was too late. I was so angry. I had the worst class that I had the class with a schedule. I got jealous that people had second lunch. In class my friends kept bothering me about my crush and telling me about what they're gonna do. On the 12th of January, me and my crush had an idea to hang out, so during lunch I came with an idea to go get ice cream. She was deciding who should go with us over the weekend. On the 13th we hanged out and got ice cream nearby my house, and we also went to Target to get something there. We had fun. All through all of term 3, things started to get worse. I wanted to do anything with my crush. So I kept doing things such as making notes for her, having arguments with her. One day, 2 days before Valentine's Day, I was having lunch until my friends came up to me and kept talking about the rumors. A friend tipped over my lunch, and it made me so angry my friends thought I did that on purpose. On Valentine's Day, I got my crush a gift. So on the same things happen, I wanted to hang out with my crush again. The problem, I had basketball practice, so I got worried. Then the next day, I told her I can't hang out and find a time for sure we can, and my parents had a meeting with my teachers about I got involved while I was in class. At that same time, I was having lunch, and she kept saying she had a boyfriend. I was trying to be more than friends. When that happened, my friends responded to the situation. She reported it to the main office. When the bell rang, I went back to my homeroom class, like nothing happened. On the way, I saw her going to the homeroom classroom, and she addressed it to the teacher, and I was so angry and I felt like I was about to get trouble again. It felt like my brain was on fire because of it. The teacher and the crush told me that I didn't do anything wrong. But April was about to get worse. On the 24th I hanged out with my friend before I went to school. He dropped me off in the school. When I came in, I was waiting with my crush and my friends who were boys. They came up to me. They started to judge about my cologne, my crush, and my outfit. 30 minutes before school starts, guess what happened next? More of my friends started to go to me saying, "She is not coming." Ha ha ha. It was getting out of hand that as soon as my crush came, I had to report it to the teacher ASAP. The teacher to tell us not to do it again, and she started to talk about me going to her advisory class to other people. It annoyed me. The next day, she told me that the homeroom teacher approved my request, so I went, and that was the worst day I've had in 9th grade. The same bad things kept happening. In May, when my homeroom class got back from their field trip without me, but in the morning we were having an unfriendly argument about her thinking I was spreading rumors. She texted me that she was going to give one strike left before we can't be friends. I got the strike and we stopped being friends. She apologized it to me and said, "Can we be friends forever?" and I agreed. The homeroom teacher told me I got kicked out of her class, that I spreaded rumors. But that was a lie, that you just can't kick out of a student in class in the first place because I did something wrong. So really angry quietly, I went home deciding that I don't want to go to the last few days at school because that education system sucks and I had nowhere else to go. Class last period of the day. I sign yearbooks with my friends who were in my grade. They said sorry and they won't do it in high school. I went to the amusement park to celebrate the end of junior high. We also don't talk about the last day of school. Anyways, inclusion. Thank God I am in high school now, and everyone in school was being a really good friend today, and the same friends in junior high. And thank God it's in the past now. I don't know who likes it or who hates it. All I have to say is that it was so horrible for me. Indonesia is a million times better than junior high and middle school. End of rant.